That should do.
Nom, nom, nom.
Wow, that was slightly inappropriate.
Speaking of inappropriate, welcome back to Dice to Pick With.
Yeah, welcome back. We're here with another episode. I'm going to move over just a touch. And
is it another episode or is it the same one? Are they all the same one?
maybe it's a continuum.
Yes.
And you're only seeing brief glimpses into our insanity.
Well, yeah. Either way, that's true.
Man,
What-
I had an episode like a few... Oh, wrong episode.
Which episode are we going to reveal that this is actually an insane asylum that we're part of?
I think you just did.
No. They don't, because this is from the last previous counting forward
When we get to triple digits, we'll do it then.
face reveals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they can see our real faces.
Yes.
Nice.
Pull off our faces directly on camera.
I'm not Chad. I'm a broom.
I don't know how much. What was that? Family Guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah,
one
the
where
Jerry
it's like,
Springer
I'm
sort
not,
of thing.
I'm not
yeah.
your girl. I'm a horse. I'm not a horse. I'm a broom.
I don't know how much of this is making it into the episode, but we'll
Whatever.
find out.
Probably. At least the bloopers.
At any rate, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed and you're with us and you're back with us, please do hit that button. We always like to see that go up. Like the video and comment with anything you come up with. Comment as we're talking, because Jared actually does that, and I love to. I love the stream of consciousness. Like
yeah. Those are my favorite ways to comment on anything.
Yeah, I love it. So do comment along with us, and we're gonna jump into a couple of things. Do you guys want me to just continue talking about?
So before we actually started recording, we accidentally started having a conversation that was turning out to be really, really interesting. Apparently, I'm not taking part in that conversation today.
Yeah,
just inventing words.
You're just all over the shop.
Yeah. No, it's been my week.
You gotta lay off the sauce. It's the crack that gets you. That's the one.
Well, that's the downside of being in an insane asylum is they give you the drugs, but goddamn, those lattice fries are fucking amazing.
They are great.
They're so good.
Yeah, and the flying unicorns.
Yep.
Yeah, those are awesome too.
It sucks when they hit you in the ass, though.
Yeah. Well, depends where they hit you.
Yes.
So what I was talking about was the evil campaign really the world that I'm building for most, I think, of our D&D escapades.
Mm-hmm.
The intention, I believe, is to basically use this world for pretty much all of our home world sort of games.
Mm-hmm.
Different continents, different places, whatever. So I was just explaining that I had destroyed the world that I had created and created a new one. And so the reason, the way that I'm creating these and the reason that it's kind of interesting is I'm actually using a game called Universe Sandbox to do this. So I've actually simulated a solar system. I plunked down a star and created some planets and some moons and everything else. And so I'm just like terraforming the world accordingly. And I had started with the Earth and then was modifying it. That was the original one that I sent you to.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Yeah, because you could still kind of make out like the top of Canada. And so partly I didn't like that because the goal is to potentially use this and maybe down the line even release it as like a module.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to use that.
Yeah.
And then I started modifying it more and more. And I'm like, well, this is dumb. Why don't I just start fresh? So I literally just created a random planet because that's a tool that exists in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Drop a random planet in and then started terraforming that instead. So it's a different world, but it's in the same area, a little bit smaller than Earth. It's 80% of the Earth's mass. It's got about the same atmospheric pressure and everything. So it's similar sort of climate.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 moons, which I told you about a little bit,
yes.
but I'll tell you about them. So instead of the Earth, which has the 24-hour day, as I'm sure all of our listeners know.
What?
Yeah. For you listening on Venus, this may be mind-blowing. So it's got a 40-hour day instead. And one of the consequences of that is that there's actually sort of 2 long rests in a day. So it's sort of like your evening rest, your night rest, and then your like day rest, because the night's 20 hours long, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be a fun mechanic to play with, is the idea that like everybody's out for like a full, 13 hours or whatever during the night.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I don't know if you thought about it right away when you read that, but there was a book trilogy that the both of us read, Chad and I read earlier this year, the first book was called Nevernight, and they do, but they don't have a moon. There was some magical cataclysmic thing that happened and the moon disappeared. And so they only have like full night for like a full time period once every like 7 years or something like that. Wow. Yeah. So they have like a day and a night sleeping time too.
That's very cool. Yeah. So one of the consequences in this, I guess a little bit similar to that, is because there's 2 moons, normally nights are darker than they would be on Earth because one moon, smaller moon, doesn't reflect as much light. Mm-hmm. But there are 2, one's further away. But when they align, when they like conjugate, that's when you get like the brightest night. And so that's every like 3 months, which is their like 36-day months. Ooh. But it's 40-hour days. So you got to like consider, anyways, all the math's there. It's all based on your
sandbox.
In our brain,
that's a long fucking time.
It's a substantial amount of time. Yeah. So anyways, they get these super bright nights once in a while when both moons are sort of full and in the right spot. And as a result of that, there's festivals like twice a year, basically 2 to 3 times a year. Mm-hmm. There are like these super moon festivals, and I haven't figured out at all what they are yet. I'm actually going to lean on you guys a little bit to help fill in that blank. I think that's going to be super fun.
I imagine there'll be some rituals.
Oh, 100%, right?
There'll be the traditional things and then the things that happen as a result of
what you guys do. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's all go raise some dead.
I had a thought this morning over my breakfast human.
Yeah, that's right. So that's one of the things that I like to do whenever I'm creating a campaign. In fairness, Universe Sandbox is new.
Yeah.
It's not that new, but it's newish. So this is one of the first times I've been able to do this specific thing.
It's on Steam?
It is.
Yeah. So I went to the actual website and like, it looks really cool. Like you can collide planets and stars.
Galaxies, yeah. It's just a physics simulator that has a whole bunch of pre-made, like you can drop Earth or the sun or Venus. Like it's got all of the things that you would expect. It's got sort of pre-made.
Yeah.
But then you can also just generate random stuff at will, which is awesome.
I like this explore historical events.
Yeah.
And you can like
load up a Halley's Comet passing, that sort of thing. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool. If you're a space nerd like I am, it is also super cool. If you're a DM that likes to go above and beyond, it's super cool for that.
Yes.
I kind of want to get this now.
It's fun to play with, right? I mean, with that said, you can always just play with it on my PC where I've got it. But
I'm gonna buy it.
There you go. Yeah. Yay. Affiliate link.
And that's how Adrian got his sponsorship.
That's right. Get a t-shirt. But yeah, so one of the reasons that I like to do this is things as simple as like, how does a 40-hour day affect the world? How does that affect your character? How does that affect the mechanics? Things like the gas giant, when the planets align in this solar system, is that like a super cool event? And I like to actually tie those to calendars. I like to actually be able to lay out the calendar. So obviously having software like Universe Sandbox, I can actually produce those and I don't have to like make up things that sound convincing. I can literally just like build a solar system, which takes an afternoon.
Yeah.
And then just like, okay, what is how often do these conjugate? Like 5 times every decade or twice a century or whatever. I can just figure that out.
That's cool.
So it's super nice. It's very convenient to just be able to use that tool and just fast forward through time and do crazy shit. Like one of the things that I was describing was the original planet that I had created was it had like a devil's anus in it sort of thing. Like it had this continent that had just been destroyed. I'm still going to put one of those on the new planet, but I'm literally just going to hurl a meteor into the planet to create it. So then it will look very natural.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see that map. That'll be really cool.
Right now, the map is a little bit lackluster. It looks better, like it looks more organic.
Yeah,
but it's a little bit lackluster because I've only got 3 continents done so far.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna add a couple more and then I'll send it over to you guys. And all of this will be released to you, the viewer, as well when we start our D&D campaign, which will be soon.
Yes,
we are aiming should I say this or is this a bad idea? We are tentatively aiming.
Yes. I was going to say give
a first episode release on Halloween.
Yes.
Which should be fun. And we'll if we hit that target, we will 100% do a premiere, like a scheduled premiere. And then at least I will go live after the premiere to talk about things.
Yes.
I imagine you two will probably do, I expect we'll be doing something for Halloween anyways.
Yeah.
But
I guess.
Yeah.
we'll figure all that out.
Yeah.
Oh, we should go trick-or-treating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll pretend to be a kid.
You'll be very convincing with all of your facial hair. Both of you. You guys can just be dwarves.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
We're just genetically we're like the black sheep of the dwarves. We're just really big.
You have
That's right.
you have a dwarf father and a Goliath mother.
There you go.
It balances out.
We're just a bunch of hairy guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think we'll go trick-or-treating, but if you'd like, I could get a big bowl of candy to put here.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
I could do that, actually. That isn't a Halloween specific offer. I could just do that.
And
but every time we reach into the bowl, we do have to say trick or treat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That won't get obnoxious at all.
No, not at all.
To us or the people watching.
No.
I feel sorry for whoever says trick. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. Better yet, anytime chat says trick or treat, we have to eat more candy.
Then it will actually be like World of Warcraft where you do eat too much candy and then you vomit.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we can be like, and now buy Dice to Pixels, the trash can.
It's a tie-dye trash can.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yummy.
Before we digress too far down that path, what we were actually here to talk about today before I got us sidetracked was portable and like vacate. Like, what do you play on the go, on vacation, that sort of thing? Chad, I think you have. Why don't you kick us off and we'll go around?
Well, usually on vacations, I bring my Switch everywhere. We have the Switch Lite and the actual Switch itself. That, as you well know, that comes with me everywhere. When we've gone away.
Fanboy over here. Jeez.
Actually, no. It's like I will say this:
it's just
Nintendo
the Switch with you.
Yeah. And it's served me quite well. It's
a great system.
Yeah, it really is. It's like all of Nintendo's best ideas because as far as portable video gaming is concerned, Nintendo has that shit down pat. To a T.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, with the possible exception of the Steam Deck, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
The only other thing that's really challenged it ever was the PS Vita, the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, it wasn't quite right, but it was good. I had one. They were great.
I like the PSP as well.
Yeah. PSP was the
one with the UMD disc. Yeah.
And then PS Vita was the upgraded version of, I liked the PS Vita better, but like they were good.
Yeah.
They never really dethroned
No.
Nintendo's offerings.
No, well, because I didn't know when it first came out, which is very reasonable for me to not know because I was 2.
What?
So it came out like April 21st, 1989. So they've had a little bit of time to kind of get down the whole portable gaming thing.
You were talking about the Game Boy.
Yes. Yeah.
I was going to say, there is no way the PS Vita came out.
No, sorry.
Game Boy,
You didn't follow along immediately with my thinking?
I did.
Yes, you did.
Took a second. Yeah. Game Boy. I had an original Game Boy. They were great.
Yeah, I remember exactly the day I got mine. It was Christmas, 1990.
Ooh. So you were a young chap of 42.
12 years old. It was kind of sad. My father died the same year, and this was from what Mom had told us. He had bought, the plan for Christmas was to get me and my 2 brothers, each of us, our own Game Boys.
Okay.
And that still went through. So we each got one, and of course it all came with Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
But
I remember you said your mom kicked your ass at Tetris.
Oh God, that's a story for another day. But yeah, mom was the queen when it comes to puzzle games. But so we all got one, and then we each got our own game. I got Double Dragon. My brother Kirk got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, and then my brother Adam got the Batman or Super Mario Land game.
Cool.
So I remember just the first time playing that, 12 years old, and you had to like get yourself underneath a light so you could actually see the screen because there was no backlight at the time, right?
Not at all.
But I mean, you're playing Nintendo games on the go. It was freaking great. You get that link cable going, and then you start playing, against your brother.
I remember buying the weird accessory that had like both the magnifying thing in front of the screen and like the fold out wings that had lights on it, speakers, and also a light so that it would light up the screen.
Yep.
Oh wow!
So it was like this like suit of armor that you put on your Game Boy. I'm sure we can find an image to put on to overlay somewhere here. Just the weird mods that you could get for the Game Boy. It was probably, I would say, without a doubt, it was the first gaming system that had like a real like a third party ecosystem around.
That's probably, I assume, then what really developed third party add-ons and stuff for gaming systems. So, what really gave it a big market.
Yeah, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that the Game Boy was like by far the first serious third party ecosystem.
Yeah.
I don't remember the chronology, and I know that some other game systems had like add-ons that you could do, but like Game Boy, like, oh my God.
So like that.
Yeah, that exact thing. In fact, that exact thing. Yeah, we'll put it up.
We'll put a picture up.
Save that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I do remember that. Okay, but getting back to the modern day. Switch.
Modern day. The Switch is fantastic.
Which game other than Mario Golf? Because we know Mario Golf.
So lately, I've been getting really into like JRPGs again. And the Switch there's one that I've been playing lately called Live a Life.
If there is any game company that I would expect to have JRPGs, Nintendo is on that list.
Yeah, and this JRPG was done by Square. Who've made obviously Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger.
They've made an RPG or two.
Yeah. Live a Life was a game that was initially released on the Famicom, which is the Super Famicom in Japan, which is the Super Nintendo here. But it never made its way over here.
Okay.
So this has been updated graphically and localized with voice acting and all that, and they released it on the Switch a month or so ago.
So I'm going to potentially, at the risk of everybody in the comments or otherwise being like, you idiot, we already knew that. I only found out a few years ago what JRPGs really were. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to briefly explain it, and you can tell me which parts of these apply to this game. So I guess really the key thing that JRPGs sort of sets them apart from other things, like Final Fantasy, you have levels, you have equipment that you upgrade and everything else. With JRPGs, first of all, levels tend to be much higher. You'll go to like levels 1,000 or more in many cases, not all, in many cases. And then there's almost always a resurrection mechanic or like the ability to like go into your sword in order to level it up and that sort of thing. It takes infinite progression to like a whole new level. Mm-hmm. That's sort of what sets JRPGs apart from just RPGs. Because of course, technically Final Fantasy is a JRPG. It's made in Japan, but it's not like JRPG.
Yeah, like usually the systems too, with the active time battle system.
Yes, where that's very common.
Yeah, you have like the meter that kind of goes up, and Live a Life has this too, where it'll have the meter go up and then boom, that's your turn. And depending on attacks and whatever that you use, it can interrupt enemies. Yeah. So, you have like crazy hair because, I mean...
there's that, that's fairly common to any Japanese RPG, like whether it's a JRPG or not. That's, Final Fantasy is a good example.
The impression I always get with JRPGs too is you could probably put in approximately 1 billion hours into any game and still not run out of content.
Oh, 100%. Like. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Very big into procedural generation and that sort of thing to really make sure that you can play forever.
Yep. So really, if you're into that sort of storytelling and you don't have a whole lot of money to spend on a game, it's pretty much the best type of game to get yourself into.
Yeah, they're very good for that.
Yeah. And Live a Life is actually, it's a bit different than your typical JRPG because you play, there's 8 chapters, I believe, but each chapter you're playing in a different time period. And you only have, so the first chapter, I started right at the beginning, so prehistory, and you're playing as a caveman. So you don't talk. All of the dialogue and stuff is just grunts and groans, and then like little bubbles come up with pictures of like, so if you're looking for if a bad guy's coming, the chief will like look at you and he'll be like, and then the bubble will pop up and it'll show the bad guy there. And then your character's like, and they go outside and, so all and it was so cool because all the conversations were like that.
That's cool.
A woman got kidnapped and it's just like, you see the question mark, huh? And then, the one guy's like, and then shows the picture of the woman tied up. And then they go, ah!
That's weird.
So it was crazy good.
Love it.
And I played through that chapter.
You forgot about your companion in that chapter and his fighting abilities.
Oh, yeah. So you have it's like a gorilla or like a monkey, a big ape character that accompanies you. And he basically throws poop at the enemies.
Oh,
yep.
So,
lovely.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's cool. There was an ancient Japan chapter where you played as a shinobi infiltrating Edo Castle, which is really cool. There was an Old West chapter where you roll in and defend a town from a group of outlaws. And there was a present day chapter, which I just finished, where it was pretty much like a fighting game, a Street Fighter fighting game, where you don't gain any levels in it per se. But when you're fighting a boss character, you have to make them use a move against you, and then you learn it.
Oh.
It was really, really cool. So like the entire chapter, you were at level 2 and you had the same amount of health, but you fought 6 bosses that you learned 2 moves off of each. And it was really, really cool. So I've finished those 4 chapters. I'm on the 5th one now, which is the near future, where I'm playing as an orphan.
Well, don't spoil any more of it, for God's sake.
Well, it's not spoiling. It's just so
you said that about Stray.
Well, these aren't spoilers because it's neat because you don't have like your typical party that you normally do in these kind of RPGs. You're only playing as, you get people that help you, but you're not like.
I've actually found that pretty common among JRPGs, to be honest.
Yeah.
That you're you're the hero and you have temporary helpers rather than entire parties.
Yeah, but in games like in the early like Final Fantasy 4
yeah, but
6,
I don't count them as JRPGs.
Well, they are.
Yeah, well, but like 80% of our RPGs are JRPGs, if you go with that.
Except for Skyrim.
Yeah, it is. Well, mostly not.
Yeah.
I think that most of the JRPGs I've played are actually sort of primary heroes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of, because Chad plays far more JRPGs than I do.
Yeah, I've been
Octopath Traveler has a group mechanic, but then what was that? Or the 2 other ones where they had similar art styles. They came out recently this year. The one you haven't finished yet, and the other
Live Alive.
No, they were on PlayStation.
Oh, Tales of Arise.
And then the one before that one.
I can't remember. Tales of Arise is one from the Tales series. Is another JRPG series that's well known. Our friend Devin knows quite a fair bit because I was talking to him about it when I got it and he was a little mad. But yeah, that's another series where each game has different characters in a different scenario, but there's certain things that kind of remain the same. Like the female lead always has pink hair.
Sure.
Yeah. And there was something else I can't quite remember. But.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sarah, what do you play on the go? Or on vacation?
On vacation and on the go. Well, I don't play as many Switch games as Chad. A lot more of my gaming generally is PlayStation based or PC based, and we don't have a Steam Deck yet.
No.
Fingers crossed for eventually owning one.
We're on that waiting list.
No, we're not.
We are now.
But so definitely there would be a lot more if I did have a Steam Deck. So mostly I just kind of stick with phone games.
All right. Well,
most of them are like puzzle based games, like they're called Picross or Nonogram or something like that.
I think I've seen those.
Yes. I kind of have been obsessed with them for several years. They're described as Japanese crossword puzzles. It's just basically pixel pictures that you figure out based on numbers and columns and rows.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like they look like 8-bit art when they're done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
so there's a bunch of those that I play all the time, and then things like just New York Times crossword and.
Do you play Wordle?
No.
Oh, you got to play Wordle.
I've tried it. It's discouraging. I just find it very discouraging.
Oh, you got to play Wordle. I actually play Octordle, which is you have 8 Wordles at the same time, and you have to solve them all within a certain number of guests.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Danielle hates me a bit that I play that.
Yeah.
So I play that a fair bit, and then I also do the Sudoku.
Yes.
Pretty much every day I do the Sudoku.
Yeah, I love Sudoku as well. Like
I do it on the whatever the highest difficulty is because Sudokus are my jam.
Same. Between them and Picross. But yeah, mostly I just play a lot of puzzle games on my phone.
Yeah. What else do I
got on there?
What game should I go and get tonight? Because I'm always up for puzzle games.
I actually have a game I was going to tell you about.
All right. Well, now's as good a time as any.
It's called Idle Dyson. I think it's Idle Dyson Simulator. Let me just...
Dyson Simulator, as in like Dyson Sphere or Dyson Vacuum? I'm guessing Sphere.
Oh, sorry. Idle Dyson Swarm, it's called.
Ooh.
It's a little bit like Universal Paperclip, only it's you're building bots and they're building solar panels and they're going to orbit space and take over solar systems and galaxies. And then
I'm not sleeping tonight.
No. I had that problem last night. I started playing it and I'm like falling asleep with my phone in my hand. I'm like, okay, I need to listen.
Fortunately, I don't have to help anybody, for instance, move tomorrow or anything.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I will check that out because, Paperclip Simulator and Kittens Game both are right up my alley as well. So,
and then what else do I have on here? I tend to go through phases where I'll like download like between 4 and 6 games at a time and play them for a few minutes. And if I hate them, I chuck them out. And, there's this other game I also got at the same time called Just Button.
Is it just a button?
It's just a button. And then you press the button and the numbers go up.
And that's it.
Well, then things start to happen.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't want to get too far into it because
don't spoil it.
Yeah,
I'll check it out as well. Yeah.
And then I have another dumb game called Mini Farm, which is basically like Stardew Valley.
Okay.
That's something I play a lot of on the Switch.
Yep.
But basically you're just going around in cycles around a little farm that's already preset.
Oh, okay.
And selling. It's just like
sounds a little bit like Farmville from Facebook games back in the day.
Yeah, only you don't have to make the decisions to plant
That's
games
right,
so much.
Sonny. I used to play Facebook games.
Would you like some carrots?
I need my Ovaltine.
Yeah. But that's most of my
all right. No, those all sound good.
Yeah.
I will check out especially Dyson Swarm, Dyson Swarm. That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah.
So I jotted down a few that I've played over the time. So on a high level, I actually usually play off of my laptop. So even when I'm out and about, like obviously when I'm stationary, I usually play like Factorio, KSP, Kerbal Space Program for those who aren't in the know.
RimWorld.
I haven't been playing RimWorld. No, I gave up on RimWorld because it stopped being enjoyable. It stopped being satisfying.
Okay.
I don't know. Something about that particular brand of games.
Like once you find the right way to do things.
It was too easy to get in. Like there's 2 ways to do it. One is like the entire game is kind of easy and it's just about like seeing how big you can build. Like Factorio, for instance. Yeah. Where it's just like, it's hard to fail badly, but it's also hard to like really push the limits. And then there's like real roguelikes where you are going to fail over and over and over. Yep. This kind of was in the middle where it's like, there are parts of it that if you don't pay attention, you'll fail, but then it's way too easy to get into like a solid state sort of, I gave up on it. Yeah. It was kind of, it's cool. I still like, it's a good game. And other people who don't have quite as much ADHD as me might find it more compelling, but I gave up on it. Yeah. Factorio and KSP are 2 that I play on my laptop quite a bit. Now, of course, I can technically play World of Warcraft on my laptop, so I've been doing that a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, those M1 Max, man. Holy Christ.
So I could install that on this, eh?
Oh, yeah. You could be playing World of Warcraft right now.
Damn.
Literally right now.
Stay the fuck away from my Mac.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not eyeballing you at all.
World of Warcraft Classic only takes up 5 gigabytes of install space.
Yeah.
And, oh my God. It's the original World of Warcraft, so it's not as bloated and horrible as the new versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not as good as playing it on my gaming PC, but I've played it on the laptop quite a bit. It's decent. And then similar to you, I play like Wordle and Sudoku and stuff. And then some idle games. I used to play more than I do now, but Heroes of the Forgotten Realm, I played for quite a while.
Yeah.
Same.
That's a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
I played Raid Legends. I don't know if you ever
I tried that, and I don't know. The whole gotcha thing just kind of turns me off.
Gotcha being like
when you getting new stuff or whatever.
And like getting crap stuff. Yeah.
That's style, like,
the next episode we're gonna film is about microtransactions. We'll talk more about Raid then, because I sunk more than I'm willing to admit into that game. Yeah. That's not true. I'll happily admit it. But and then there was one other one that I played, which was like a hockey game back in the day, and it was just a cash grab, just a straight up cash grab. So I didn't play it for very long, but it was one of those things that you get into a group and it's like, oh man, this is great, and then it fades pretty quick.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I would mention for on-the-go games, and I would be remiss, I can't believe neither one of you actually mentioned it, and I'm wondering if you ever played it, is either Ingress from Niantic or Pokemon Go.
I played both of those.
We played when Pokemon Go came out. We played it. We played it for a bit, and then it just got.
It comes around in cycles for me. Every once in a while, somebody will be like, "Oh, I'm playing Pokemon Go." I'm like, I'm in it. Like, let's go to the park right now.
Yeah. Me and one of my girlfriends, we go for walks quite frequently, and so every once in a while, we're just like, "Let's Pokemon Go."
Yeah.
It's so much better now than when it initially came out.
Oh, good lord,
so much.
They've improved it a lot. Also, something we can talk about microtransactions, but
no kidding.
Ingress. We used to play Ingress when it first came out, and it was kind of cool because we were in Toronto at the time.
Yeah.
And so we'd be out, and our little gang of nerds would see another little gang of nerds, and we'd be fighting in Ingress. And it's like, oh, hey guys, how's it going?
I think personally, I liked the themes around Ingress a lot more than Pokemon
Way
Go.
Better. Yeah. Way
but
better.
I just, no one I knew at the time when I was playing it played it either.
Yeah.
So it was just
obviously Pokemon was going to be more popular.
Yeah.
So. Which is oddly enough why they released it.
Yes.
And truth be told, Pokemon Go was the first Pokemon game I ever played. I never played.
It's the only Pokemon game you've ever played.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yep. I could not get into the Pokemon series. There was something about it that just didn't appeal to me at all.
Now, did you ever play the originals?
No.
So you never tried them when they were newish. Nope. See, because I only ever played like the originals and like almost nothing since, because basically it just started to be like, how can we make people pay more money for slightly new graphics and stupid names?
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm over trivializing, and I'm sure lots of people are gonna be like, you fucking idiot!
Yeah.
Pokemon's the best game in the world. Especially my buddy James, if he's watching, will hate me for this. But
make sure you tell him how much you hate him right now, James.
Tell me in the comments what an asshole I am. But the original Red and Blue Pokemon, I did play, and they were great games, like for their time, and they kind of still hold up to some degree. For their time, they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was just something about it that I couldn't get into, and probably because there was just other games that I was more interested in.
Sure.
So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I can totally see, like, I guess really my point is not that they're bad games, because they're not. Like, I mean, you could say the exact same thing about Final Fantasy, where it's like, well, it's just the same game as last time.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, that's somewhat true. But but with Pokemon, like, I can totally see trying to like come into the series, especially after like 5 or 6 years, and it's like, there's 18 games. What the I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon was basically a series for a generation. You know, it's like when I grew up, it was, you know, you had Super Mario or Mega Man, or, you know what I mean? Like the big thing was probably Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, that was the
because
big thing, right?
I think
a little bit.
I think for us, it came out when we were at that target age. And Chad would have been, well, he's 9 years older than me.
He's ancient, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I fart dust all the time.
Old as dirt, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's some truth to that for sure.
I'm just having a sip of my Metamucil.
But I feel like Pokemon has a lot of staying power. Like young kids now are still 100% into Pokemon.
Yeah.
And same with Mario and everything. So like there's something we said for that, but I think really you just missed the initial hook and then it's hard to get into it later.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Mario, like you can pick up literally any Mario game and it's not like you don't even, there's no storyline from the previous one. Mm-hmm. So like you're literally not missing anything.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of people recommend something like Pokemon Arceus or whatever it is that came out.
Arctics or whatever the hell it's
called. Yeah. They recommend that as a good starting off point because it's like pre everything else. It's like early on in their world.
Don't get me started on prequels.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'll be ranting all night.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to the whole mobile gaming thing.
Sure.
It's, like when I'm for mobile games myself personally, I always try to go for like a retro kind of game. So a couple that I'll point out. One of them's called Hoppenheim. Hoppenheim.
I assume it's Frogger.
No. Actually, it's you play as a knight.
Okay.
In shiny, it's a pixel art kind of. You hit the button and you jump from square to square to square to square, and you can attack with a sword or whatever. But it's almost roguelite-ish. You're trying to get as far into this castle as you possibly can.
Okay.
It's one of those fun little games that I just like. The music's catchy. It's got that 8-bit
polyphonic?
Yes.
Pretty sure that's the name for it.
Yeah. So and then Cave Fall is another one where you're basically falling down a pit, but you're jumping from wall to wall, avoiding obstacles and stuff like that. And then all these match 3 games.
Yeah.
There's so many where you have to match 3 and then it does a spell attack or whatever.
Yeah.
I only ever played and got into one of them, and it was I think it was called Puzzles and Dragons.
Yeah, I played that. Yep.
Yeah. And I like that, but that's where the whole gotcha thing was coming in, because you get random chances at getting better heroes, 4-star, 5-star bullshit, and or you could just pay money for them, but we won't get into that now. But
we'll
that's
talk
another
about
one
that
that I played. But I always like to go for just kind of quick little, just like, I got 10 minutes.
A lot of those, like the RPG games that are coming out for on the phone, or like ones that are ported to the phone, like I can't imagine sitting there and playing that on your phone, because like your phone would just get so hot, your battery dies.
I think that's a generational thing to an extent, because I see younger kids, like they are on their phones, and this is going to make me sound so fucking old. They are on their phones literally all day, every day.
Yeah.
And like, I use my phone a lot. Yeah. Like I write phone software.
Yeah.
But even I'm like, you are on that thing just constantly. Like, that's insane.
In all fairness, I'm a secretary in a physiotherapy clinic. So people are always in the waiting room in front of me. Older people are also on their phone constantly there too.
They're just AOL messaging their grandkids.
Yes, they constantly have their freaking button noises on.
The catfishers that they think are their grandkids.
Oh, that's so sad.
It is, but it's true.
People in Guelph have actually fallen for that.
Oh, I'm sure people everywhere have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
If you're a catfisher, drop a line in the comments.
You know what game I really miss on the phone, though?
What's that?
Battle Breakers.
I've never played it.
It was an Epic, right?
Epic, yeah. It was so on iOS, but then when Epic and Apple had their big fallout, Apple pulled the game from the iOS.
I'm sorry, did Epic and Apple have a falling... No, I'm kidding. I don't live under a rock.
It was so fun. It was such a good freaking game. Like you're literally breaking crystals and opening up the map and fighting.
Okay.
But it was so good.
They have it, like you can play it on PC. It's just, it's not the same because, hi, Leia.
Yeah, Leia's joined us.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile games on PC don't work.
No.
Never.
But yeah, like the theme song was great. It was.
Oh God, yeah. If you ever get the chance, just check out Battle Breakers just for their opening theme song.
Yeah, just you can find it on YouTube. You can find lots of examples of it, I'm sure. Just make sure that when you watch it, come back and rewatch this as well.
No, just open it in another
No, I'm trying to get more views.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did you guys ever play Angry Birds?
A little bit, yeah.
I played through all of Angry Birds.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit of I was going to say I'm a little bit of a completionist, but that's kind of a lie. There are certain games that I am, but most games I'm just like, I don't give a flying fuck.
Yeah.
There was another one called, I think, Siegebreaker. It was similar.
I know of it, but I don't think I played it.
It was similar to Angry Birds, but hi, honey. Instead of launching from a catapult, you were looking at like a building or whatever head on, and you had different things to throw at it.
Yeah.
But you only had a certain amount to make the whole thing collapse and kill the enemies inside of it.
Yeah.
It was, or Siege Hero, sorry. It was called Siege Hero.
Yeah. There was a PC game that was a heavy physics simulator that was sort of vaguely similar that I know one of my buddies played a whole lot of because it's very ragdoll physics and everything else, which I doubt the mobile one did, but it was cool.
There's just something gratifying though when you just kind of hit just the bottom end of like a piece of wall and you just see it kind of
100%. Yeah. Well, that's the same thing with like Angry Birds, like finding those little tricks to like catapult a board like fucking light speed off the edge of the map and stuff.
Yeah. Catch like the crest of a hill and just
yeah, exactly. Yeah. There
was a game actually that you were playing where you were like sand surfing or something. You played that a lot a while ago.
Sand surfing.
It was like a downhill.
Alto's Odyssey.
Yeah.
Alto's Odyssey. Yeah, I think it was Alto's Odyssey. You're the ground, your character is basically a black silhouette, but you're on like a surfboard and you're kind of surfing sand dunes.
Okay.
And you're jumping over obstacles on the ground and pits, and they'll have like air bursts. You're basically just trying to get as far as you can.
Yeah. It's like an endless runner.
Endless runner. Yep.
But yeah, it's really good. It was surprisingly relaxing. The music and the ambience of the game itself was just. It wasn't like oh shit. It was just more like oh, it's nice.
It was very aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. Like even watching over his shoulder whenever you played it and be like, yeah, this is really nice. Not my style of game to play, but watching him play, it was really nice.
Yeah. I remember back in the heyday of Flash games, when everybody made, 50-cent games for Flash stuff, and I called them 50 cents. They were free, but the weird ones that you'd get where it's like catapult your guy into and see how many like TNT things he can hit to extend his like death and everything else, and it'd be like so and so made it 80 kilometers.
What was the one with
I
don't know if you ever played the one where you were a polar bear and you were basically like baseball batting penguins' heads.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I can't
remember the name of it, but it was so funny.
It's we're getting back to that era now with mobile games because they're getting easier and easier and easier to write. But yeah, Flash games, the heyday of Flash games, there was just like, if anyone's perverted mind could come up with it, it existed.
Yes.
It was pretty great and pretty weird.
I remember board.com used to have so many links to so many weird Flash games.
My buddies used to use ebombsworld.com.
Oh, yes.
And so, mild tangent here. John and Jack, I'm calling you out on screen here. They came to me. They had both gotten a virus from eBombs World. This was when we were in residence at university. Mm-hmm. So I cleaned both of their computers, got rid of the virus, everything else. Not a problem because I caught it early. It was fine. And then like 2 hours later, both the fucking idiots had it again. And I'm like, why did you go back? What is wrong with you? So I cleaned them again, but I'm like, stop going to the damn site. It was mildly interesting though. It wasn't actually the site's fault, so to speak. It was actually this was way back in the day. Mm-hmm. I think it was injected through one of the advertisements.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there was like a malicious advertisement that actually managed to like download. It was more malware than virus, but this was back before people really started using the term. Yeah. So that was one of those like, you fucking idiots. You knew that it was going to infect your computer and you went back. What the hell?
I just won't click on that one.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, my quick little story there. But nice. I actually was going to write and did write, actually, come to think of it, a mobile game and then never released it. It was called Safe Word.
You told us about this.
Yeah, but I haven't told them, I don't think.
No.
That's what I was saying. I was
Yeah.
just sayyin like you told us about it.
Yeah.
And now you're going to hear about it.
No. Well, now you've ruined it. I'm not going to say anything.
Sorry.
No, it was a stupid little game. Just decoding words from a safe dial, basically. Yeah. Just turning it left and right to decode the word, and it was cute. I never released it because I think I had to fill out tax forms that I was like, fuck that.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
well, now you should release it as a Dice to Pixels game.
We could.
If you want to check out your tax form, please solve this puzzle.
That's basically what tax forms are.
Pretty much.
Dice to Pixels Game Studio.
There you go.
I'll write a bunch of stupid ass games for us.
Dice to Pixels, the video game.
There you go.
And then we can have Dice to Pixels, the candle.
There we go.
Dice to Pixels, the phone case.
The D2P video game would just be sitting at a table picking dialogue options.
Yep.
Buttons come across the screen. You got to hit the button at the same
That's
time.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that was my foray into iOS games that I never released.
Fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a question then
Yep.
for you. Out of every portable gaming system that you know of, which one, if you could have one, which one would it be right now?
Ooh.
Anything in existence.
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck?
Immediately. I just want to play Vampire Survivors everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, probably a Steam Deck.
It feels like it's the most versatile at this point.
Mhm.
Well, and I already have all the other ones that I want. Like, I kind of want a Steam Deck, but not badly enough to actually pay the price.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there are any retro ones that I'd be like, oh man, I really want that.
Yeah, the only the downside with wanting like a lot of the retro stuff is getting games for them are going to be so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
for sure. And also most of them, like you can go to certain non-reputable websites that I don't condone going to, say AliExpress.com and searching for Game Boy and finding one of the knockoff ones that runs emulated games and then playing all of the Game Boy games on your 8 gigabit flash drive.
Oh, a Banggoy.
I don't condone that.
No.
But if you did that, you could probably find one that would do that.
And there's totally not emulators everywhere on the internet that you can just...
I mean, these are basically just they're essentially Raspberry Pis in a Game Boy that like they just have all the games on them.
That's awesome.
You used to be able to get them on AliExpress. I'm sure you still can.
Probably.
Not condoning.
No.
Don't do it unless you want to, in which case do it. But I didn't tell you to.
Yeah. I'd agree with the Steam Deck thing. I only brought it up because on our gaming clan, forevergaming.com.uk, love you guys.
There you go.
There's a retro section there, and we were talking about retro purchases or whatever. And my one friend Lee, there was one, the Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Oh yeah.
It was it came out right around, I want to say, the end of the Game Boy Color and just before the Game Boy Advance.
That sounds
came out.
right. Yep.
And it was one of those little portables where at the time I was like, oh my God, I want one of these, because there was only certain games you could get on that platform.
Yeah.
That you couldn't get anywhere else.
Oh.
But the only problem was it was so hard to to get it over here.
Yeah, North America, it didn't actually get released here. I don't think
it did in the States, but
maybe
they were very, very hard to find. So getting the system and then actually getting games for it was, I mean, Neo Geo, even the old Neo Geo console back in the day,
still a nightmare. Yeah.
Unbelievable. But that was the only other portable gaming system that I wanted.
I dig it.
And I could never get. But like looking at it now, like if I got one and it's like, oh, cool, I finally have one. But to get games for it and you look online and you're didn't you
$600 for a game or something.
It's just ridiculous.
Well, that would be the only catch, is that if you got like a pristine copy of like a Neo Geo, you could probably sell it and buy a Steam Deck and have money left over.
Yeah.
But assuming we're not going for financial game here, actually, I might change my answer a little bit, only because if I wanted to, I could just go and get a Steam Deck tomorrow. Well, waiting list aside. I could just break into my buddy's house and steal his Steam Deck. I wouldn't even have to break in. He'd invite me.
We're going to have to cut that part
out. Game Boy Color, assuming I got a game with it.
Mm-hmm.
Game Boy Color with Mario Golf.
Yeah.
I think might actually be my answer. That is honestly one of the games that I have the most. It's like, for me, it's like Tibia and then like Mario Golf Game Boy Color. Those are like, and then everything else is like way lower.
I'm gonna have to check when I get home.
Kerbals?
For like visceral memories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I've played other games more than either of those two. But, well, not Tibia, but...
I'm going to have to look in one of my bins at home, but I'm almost 100% positive that I still have my copy of Mario Golf from the Game Boy Color.
Oh, shit. But not the Game Boy Color.
I feel like you might have. I think I remember packing that away.
I'm almost... And I might have a Game Boy Advance SP, which plays the old Game Boy Color games. But I'll check when I get home. I'll check over the weekend.
I think my
DS. Your DS plays.
Yeah, we completely skipped over DSs. I forgot about that. I played the hell out of Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass on that. That was the first Legend of Zelda game I actually played.
The Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good.
It
was a good system too.
I liked the controls with that specific game because it was all stylus. It was just unique to me at the time.
I mean, I would say that it's probably not controversial to say that every Nintendo portable gaming system at the time it was released was like groundbreaking-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the 3DS was like, oh, it's 3D, which depending if you cared about 3D or not was like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
But lots of people fucking cared.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I never actually saw one, so I don't even understand how they particularly worked.
It was a trick of the eye.
Yeah. And it just sounds uncomfortable.
It was dumb.
It wasn't nothing
It was
spectacular.
really dumb.
Yeah.
Led to a lot of car sickness.
I could believe that.
An unfathomable amount. There is more vomit produced by that gaming system than any other.
Like just sitting around and playing it, or like
mostly in the car. But of course, since it's a Game Boy DS, obviously kids are playing it in the backseat of a car, and then
Well, I'll say this: apart from the Nintendo Game Boy, I think one of the better portable game consoles that was ever released was the Turbo Express.
What the hell is that?
Turbo Express.
The Turbo Express.
Was that Sega?
Nope. It was a portable TurboGrafx 16.
Oh.
And if anybody remembers, the TurboGrafx 16 was basically a 16-bit console that came out pretty much near the end of the NES era. And they used little cards that were probably no bigger than your debit card or a credit card.
Yep.
And it slid into the system. So they came out with basically a Game Boy. It was a black Game Boy with a backlit color screen. And the same cards that you put into your TurboGrafx 16 went into this thing, and you could play it on that.
It looks like a chonky.
Yep.
Chonky Game Boy.
Sorry, I'm just so archaeological digs nearby.
Right.
I was just trying to find you a copy.
Yeah. No,
that's our house.
That's probably one of the better systems because you didn't have to go out and buy different games for the platform. It used your existing games for the platform that you had.
There was I want to say
Sega did something like that.
Yeah,
too.
I want to say Dreamcast. That was one of the ideas. You could do like mini discs or something. I don't think they ever released it.
No, that wasn't. No.
Oh, are you sure you're talking about the little?
They had the VMU.
No, that's different.
Wasn't it Dreamcast where you had the little pop out thing that was like
That's the EMU.
That's the VMU. That's the memory card. It was like a little Tamagotchi thing.
I thought that there was a not released, it never made it to production, but I thought that there was going to be a portable Dreamcast that used mini discs.
I don't think it ever came out.
It didn't come out. I know that much. But that was going to be like the next big thing, and maybe it wasn't a Dreamcast, but I think it was.
There was a mini disc drive for I think the Super Nintendo. But that was only in Japan.
Yeah, that was different.
Yeah.
But yes, that is a thing. Yeah, I'm almost certain that the Dreamcast was there was going to be a mini disc version that was portable as well. And it was the same basic system, but portable with mini disc reader.
I didn't know
Which was a terrible idea, by the way, because, of course, like CD skipping and everything else, it never would have worked.
No.
Probably why it wasn't released, but I'm sure I remember reading about it at the time that it was canceled.
Huh.
And yeah, never made a production. Never was viable. But
interesting.
But I will give props though to the Sega Nomad, which basically played Genesis cartridges.
Sure. Yep.
So
Again, if you go to AliExpress.com, there are definitely game systems that you can buy there that will both have all of the emulation in and games preloaded. But I've seen ones that will read old game cartridges.
Holy crap! That has a tiny screen.
Yeah, it wasn't. They weren't big
back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't get those sweet 4K 32
back in the day.
Yeah, for anyone that can't tell, I obviously did not have any of these game systems when I was young.
No, you had pickup sticks.
Actually, I actually did. I did have devil sticks and pickup sticks. And
I did too.
Yeah, who didn't have devil sticks and pickup sticks or whatever you want to call them?
Yo-yos.
We had those too, but we just used them as swords.
I should get a yo-yo.
They're
for
fun.
No reason other than to just have one.
We called those maces.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Oh my God, could you imagine a bard that uses yo-yo tricks?
Yeah, that'd go well with the new Unearthed Arcana card trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally unrelated at all to her.
Are you amending your D&D card?
No. I'm just thinking about how much now I want an actual yo-yo again that I can do tricks with.
We should get some.
Yes.
We should figure out what the latest in yo-yo, well, we'll search after
yo-yo technology.
Yep.
But I
cobalt core, liquid cobalt core with titanium string. And
do you remember those light up yo-yos?
Oh, of course I do.
Oh man, that one was my favorite.
Pictures of your cats in them? No problem.
That's old technology. I had that back in the day.
You want pictures of your cats that light up?
There you go.
No problem.
And meow when you
want LED displays in the side of your yo-yo, which I'm sure exist.
With holographic imagery.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Like that light fan thing that we saw at PAX that had the
you'll probably
that was at Origins.
Those probably
Origins,
existed.
yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. No, I was thinking just like normal LED screens inside because I'm sure they exist.
Yeah. But
I'm 100% close.
But I think it's safe to say though that with insofar as portable gaming goes nowadays, man, everybody's got it made with cell phones. If you have a Nintendo Switch, if you have
yo-yos, that's portable gaming.
If you have ball in a cup, like you got it made. You got it made, man.
Is there an iPhone version of Ball in a Cup?
Ooh,
I bet
there's got to be.
There, of course, there is.
Yeah, there
That's
has
a
to
stupid question. Of course, there is.
Okay.
I hope so.
Well,
and if not, we're making it. That's the first release of D&D games. There has to be Ball in a Cup.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
You're good. Yeah. I let us know. We're gonna wrap it up here because we're gonna move on to the next one, which is microtransactions. Which might
Everyone's
for you
favorite.
That might have come first for you. Who knows?
Yeah.
If it did, I'll link.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out. Subscribe if you're into it, or if you're not, do it anyways.
Yeah.
Like the video.
Subscribe us.
Tell 3 friends, 4 friends.
Let's
8?
go to 4 now. Yeah,
8 friends. Tell 8 friends.
Yeah.
Shout it at local bus stops.
Perfect.
Whatever you do. Hit the bell if you want to. We do judge, but feel free. And
it's your life. We won't yuck your yum.
And hey, let us know what portable gaming or portable gaming experiences down in the comments. Let us know. Join our Discord.
Join the Discord.
Join our Discord. Let us know what other mobile games you think that we should give a shot.
Yeah.
We can talk about those another time too.
Yes, if you actually, so this is a little known thing. If you comment the game that you would like us to play in the comments, we will look at it, go, oh, that's a cool idea, and then never get to it. So
no, that's Adrian will.
I will.
Yes, and so will Sarah.
Actually, I've started playing more games now that we've been doing this. So do comment things you want us to check out. We do actually try to check out new games on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the next one for me because I've got all the WoW stuff sorted out. So I'm looking for the next one now. So comment and I'll give it a try.
Cult of the Lamb.
I'm not trying that because you already tried it.
Yep.
we gotta spread ourselves out. We can't
It's
all
true.
three like the same game. That's
I
recipe for disaster.
I agree.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Mwah.